Pokemon. What's your favorite? um, it, it, there's an interesting thing that happens when you ask that question. People come out of the woodwork with some weird favorites. And it's interesting because the question it shows what the person cares about in terms of the game, right? If it's a super competitive Pokemon, it might be like Incineroar is my favorite. If it's just maybe your starter, so there's like nostalgia attached to it, maybe you say Swampert or something. But it's interesting because no matter who you talk to, I think everyone has a different favorite Pokemon, and you can sort of learn about that person depending on who their favorite Pokemon is. One of the things that I love about those games is there are some Pokemon that are just not good at all. And people clamor for like new evolutions for these Pokemon or mega evolutions or something of that nature, because they'll say, oh, well, my favorite Pokemon deserves more loves. It deserves this sort of thing. And not only that, hey, this is a RPG, right? So an RPG should have all sorts of balancing in it, right? However, what's kind of cool about Pokemon is that it doesn't really care about like how viable each Pokemon is, right? No matter what, if you love something, then you'll want to use it, no matter how viable it is. And if that makes the game a little harder, okay, well, that makes the game a little harder. Probably one of my more favorite ones would be Tropius. Tropius is such a weird Pokemon. It's got these wings that are leaves that makes it flying, but it's also looks like some kind of dinosaur, but it's also supposed to be like a banana tree because it's got bananas hanging from its neck. Such a weird idea, and it doesn't evolve at all, and it's not a good Pokemon. But there's something about Tropius that I love. Now, some people actually will levy the same criticism against creation or like nature. Like they'll go, hey, this isn't as good. Like they'll use that term, right? Oh, well, the world isn't perfect. Or like they'll look at things that aren't as viable in terms of like survivability, and they'll go, wow, this animal's dumb or stupid. But it confuses what is actually important about the design of that creature. They'll say it's imperfection, but I would say that the definition of perfection relies upon what you believe something is for, and it makes the worldview of the person saying something is imperfect. It makes the worldview of that person all important to the claim. So the question is, you can't say, like, some people will use this as an argument against creationism. They'll say, oh, well, if God is perfect, then he would create everything to be perfect. Why are there some imperfections in what we see? It's like, well, you might say that it's imperfection, but honestly, I wouldn't even call it imperfection. The question is, what do you think creation is for? What is it for? Is it for survivability, or is it for something else? I think if we're Christians, we have a more nuanced view of what creation is for. It's not necessarily for survivability, even though survivability is important. It's more about us learning more about God and his nature. This is what's kind of interesting about things. I think of like these like stick bugs or the mantis, or like an orchid mantis, for example. Those are so beautiful, and not only are they beautiful, they have this instinct that makes them like wave in the breeze. So they'll like move their bodies around to make it look like the breeze is moving them, so that they're mimicking the actual thing that they're trying to masquerade as. Such a weird, bizarre thing. And it's interesting because you could say, oh, well, this is clearly camouflage. They're trying to avoid predators. And to a certain extent, that is true. However, there are some strategies that are avoiding predators that are more successful than others. So, if you have a naturalistic worldview, you look at something like that, and you go, oh, well, if this strategy is less effective, which, by the way, orchid mantises, those leaf mantises, it is actually less effective in evading predators in some ways. You look at that and you go, well, that's a losing strategy. They shouldn't do that, or it's fair that those things die out. Meanwhile, I would say as a Christian, Christians have a unique perspective on this, because if creation is fundamentally for getting us to understand the nature of God, survivability is not necessarily the reason a creature is designed that way. Because to me, I look at a creature like that. I look at like a leaf mantis, and I go, "Oh my gosh, that is such a beautiful, beautiful creature. How amazing is that thing designed? And how does that show the creativity behind the creator who made it?" The thing that I learn about God is that he is a creative person. He is not just someone who is making things that work or function. God is not, he's not content to just sit there and make something that works. He's going to make something that is beautiful, interesting, fascinating, that compels our hearts, compels our minds, and that maybe will make us think of his nature and who he is. Just like a good artist who creates something, and really the desire of the artist is that that person understands them better through what they create. And I think really that's the feeling of the Pokemon folks. We can complain that, oh, this Pokemon doesn't have a mega evolution, this Pokemon doesn't have a good stat spread, so on and so forth. But hey, man, if that Pokemon is your favorite Pokemon, I think you should be proud of that Pokemon, that it's your favorite. Because ultimately, what is the game for? Is the game to make us super competitively viable? Or is this game so that we can have fun and enjoy the time that we have? God does the same thing. He's created the world for us to look at, adore, and to help us understand who he really is. So I guess that was a little bit of a short one, guys. Thanks for listening, and drop a few comments, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.